Splashing the Trash, of course, is Nick Bhasin from OK Magazine, okmagazine.com.au. How's things over there, Nick?
Fantastic, Wammo. Couldn't be better.
And when we say over there, of course, we're talking about Sydney. Does Sydney ever see winter? You don't really see winter there, do you?
Well, there is a kind of winter. It's started yesterday, I think.
The temperature dips a couple of degrees.
Yeah, well, more than a couple. It gets a little bit cloudy.
Yeah.
People start to wear huge coats and hats as if they're in the Antarctic. It's great.
They tell them to come over here and get hard, and here in New Zealand. Man.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Boy. All right, hey, let's kick off with Gary Coleman, and of course he's passed away this week. Yeah,
it's very, very sad. He's had a troubled life as a former child star, and now it's over. It just came out that he fell in his house. A friend of his has come forward to say that after a dialysis session, which he was getting for kidney disease 3 times a week, he went home, just fell, and there was hit his head, 1-inch gash, and that was it. It was very sad.
Yeah, I mean, he leaves quite a legacy behind, I suppose, as his Different Strokes career and his, I suppose, drug and alcohol abuse.
Yes. I mean, he had also some major anger management problems. I mean, all of this stems from his career on Different Strokes. He sued his parents, claiming that they had mismanaged his money, and he was awarded $1 million. He made tons of money, but eventually ended up spending it all and became kind of as we know, a bit of a punchline. It kind of ruined his life. And he recently said he regretted all of that fame, that it ruined his life. So he and his wife are both arrested for domestic assault, and he walked off talk shows. He lost all his money. He had to become a security guard on a studio lot.
That's right. Sad. And he was made fun of on The Simpsons. Man, it sounds like he didn't have a very good life at all.
No, I guess when you add it all up, it does seem pretty sad. It doesn't make a good case for being a child star, that's for sure.
No.
And everyone constantly asking him to say, "What you talking about, Willis?"
Yeah. That being the constant, like a ball and chain dragging around with you.
Dark cloud.
Have you ever seen the alternative intro to Different Strokes?
I haven't.
Well, it's the same visual intro, but with rather than the Different Strokes theme music, it's this theme music. Can you imagine it?
That sounds fantastic. I would imagine any TV show would be made funnier with that intro.
It's them.
Especially those 80s sitcoms.
Because I don't know if anyone remembers the intro itself. It's what's his name, the dad turning up and bundling the kids into the car.
Right.
And then they're taken off on like a happy, joyful ride, but put this music to it.
My God, it's terrifying.
There's something a bit more sinister going on.
That's incredible.
All right, that's enough Gary Coleman. Charlie Sheen. Hang on. That's when they enter the apartment. Sorry to interrupt you there, Nick.
That's all right. So Charlie Sheen, it looks like he's going to get 30 days of jail time for his domestic violence case, where he had a Christmas Day knife fight with his wife.
As you do. That's what we'd like to do on Christmas Day. Get out the old knives. Chuck them around.
You're carving up the turkey or the ham, and somebody says something you don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to go after them.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the meaning of Christmas, as far as I'm concerned. But, so he might get 15 days or so with good behavior. But it looks like that's the sentence the court's going to hand down. Of course, he's been he was seeking treatment for substance abuse, as was his wife, and he also agreed to return to 2.5 Men for a record-breaking amount of money.
Yeah,
So,
we talked about that. That's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, he's going to be the richest guy in jail for that.
Imagine waking up saying, I'm not getting up for less than $1 million.
Yeah. I wish.
And finally, Heidi Montag. Who's Heidi Montag? I don't even know who she is.
Well, there's this reality show, quote-unquote reality show called The Hills that's become very popular. And Heidi Montag is one of the people, one of the young women in it. The show follows around a few young women in California. And she has done all kinds of horrible things to herself. She's gotten 10 plastic surgeries and just a lot of attention-seeking, including marrying Spencer Pratt, who's kind of unlikable and a bit of a lunatic, at least comes off that way. And now they've split, and there's a lot of speculation over whether it's fake, but it turns out he's a bit of a nutcase. He worships crystals, and
How'd you do?
Well, I mean, you've got to turn to something.
Yeah.
And so she's saying that she just needs to work on herself right now, and it's everybody's talking about it. Wammo, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me, it is the end of the show, and therefore I have to go and work on myself.
Yes.
Have to get out the old stick. Give myself a good old beating.
Right. What about your crystals?
That comes this afternoon. I'll get out the crystals, sit in front of them,
Good.
cross-legged, hands together. Anyway, thanks, Nick.
My pleasure, Wammo.
Until next week.
Absolutely, I'll talk to you then.
All right, that's Nick Bhasin from OK Magazine, okmagazine.com.au, and those stories, of course, you'll find coming up in the magazine next week.